Sam and Carrie to our first CTRL-S. Well, I'm going to say podcast, but I'm also not going to say podcast because it's not a podcast. Let's treat it as
podcast, not a podcast.
Podcast, not podcast. That is actually what the series is going to be called.
Not a podcast. Podcast. Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Well, I've just decided right now that that's what the podcast is going to be called. Podcast, not podcast. So I have some questions that I want to ask you today. Before we start, can you give like a little bit of a background about who Stoney Philbin are?
So we are a relatively small accountancy practice based in the High Peaks at the top end of Derbyshire, bottom end of Greater Manchester. Primarily focused on individuals and owner-managed businesses. We look after about probably 500 clients of varying natures, so individuals, partnerships, sole traders, limited companies, all the rest of it. There's 6 of us, and we sort of cover most sort of things that, you know, as an individual or an owner-managed business, you might need from your accountant. Accounts, tax, HR, payroll, VAT, you name it.
One thing I will say is I knew that was for the podcast, not podcast, because you are a client of ours.
Indeed.
Fine. So how long have you been working with CTRL-S now?
I'd say it's about 12 months, I think it is.
Yeah, we're getting on.
I think it was May last year when we had our first
consultation, discovery call, as we would call it at CTRL-S. What challenges did you have before you started working with CTRL-S in your IT infrastructure within, you know, the digital transformation project that we've got going on? Talk me through some of the challenges that you've got.
I'd say that's like sort of 2-pronged challenges, and probably Sam could talk more about the IT infrastructure and I could talk a bit about the digital transformation.
Well, I was going to say twofold, in fact, but yes, indeed.
Twofold.
Kind of 2 sort of motivating factors for us starting to work with you. One was that all of our IT was done in-house, which up to a point you can self-manage, but then it starts to get complicated. You worry about compliance, best practice, all that kind of stuff. So it reaches a level where you need
and it starts to get grumpy help. Because Sam was doing it all. And
I bet it's taken away from you doing what you set out to do as helping clients with the work and the service that you provide them as well.
Yeah, we're accountants, not an IT firm.
Absolutely.
So stick to what you do best. So that was the first part of it, and that was kind of reaching a bit of a head where we needed to address that anyway.
Yeah.
But then obviously, like you said, the second part of it was digital transformation. That was something that we were looking at, and that really we wanted to sort of address that properly. Needed some structure, needed some help, and obviously that was where you came in.